Hello.
Hi.
I'm Max Cohn. I am here with Jo
Johan Domingo.
Johan
Johan.
Johan Domingo, the wonderful writer, director, producer, probably editor,
Yeah.
star of uh, I Don't Want to Grow Up.
Yes.
So Johan, tell us what what was like where did you how did you get into film? When did you realize you wanted to do this for your life?
For my life. I so my art teacher recommended me this like pre-college program with RISD. And I just was like, you know what, just for fun, like I'll do their film major. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But if I do, like that's also a really good thing. And I obviously did really like it. So yeah, it was just kind of like by chance. I mean, I've had interest in film before the pre college, but to like have like hands on
Mhm.
practice with a camera and with like minded people, I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Yeah.
So it's what is RISD?
Oh, Rhode Island School of Design.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a summer thing or
Yeah, it's a summer thing. It's like 4 weeks.
Very nice, very nice. Um, so when did this project, enter your brain?
Um, hmm. I think
Because you made
um
it like 2 years ago, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um I think I was just like I've always had like a really I mean, I've come to terms with it now, but I've had just this like fear of like growing up and just leaving kind of like your childhood or like your innocence as a child. Um and that was especially kind of clear to me when I was at the pre-college. Um because I was like terrified of the concept of college and I was like I'm no one's going to like me. I'm not going to like it like um but I ended up really liking it and met some really cool people and that made me feel a little bit better about college and now I'm going to college and I'm super freaking pumped. So
And tell everyone where you're going to college.
I'm going to Emerson College.
And by coincidence, two, at least two, there could be more, but at least two of our filmmakers who are in this year's program actually go to Emerson right now or are graduating. I don't know where they are, but yeah. So we're all gonna get lit in July.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Happy to be I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I I am also excited as well. So when did you sort of uncover these videos and what was that like when you uncovered the videos, was it before you had the idea or after?
Um well, I guess kind of before because I knew like as like growing up, I just always had access to the internet and just like technology. So I was always making videos like all the time. And my stepdad had this really fancy camera and he
Johan,
he would tell me, he'd be like, but I did. And I used yeah.
you're cutting in and out. I mean, I guess I should.
Oh my bad.
Okay. There we go.
It was kind of like before I had this concept. I kind of just I remember like I as a kid I had like access to the internet at a very young age. And so I was always like on photo booth. I was always doing something crazy. And my stepdad had this really fancy camera and he would tell me like do not use it do not use it because it's super expensive and you can't use it. But I did anyways.
Is that what the film is
I
shot
did
on?
anyways. Yeah. Well, just the home footage
Yeah,
that I like used. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was a fancy camera.
Like I think so. It was like really expensive. Maybe he said it was really
That's what
expensive so
I'm
that I
thinking.
didn't touch it, but I did touch it. But
I
I did
on
touch it.
because I was looking at that and I was like, okay, you got the camcorder, you got the, like if I could, I think I could definitely make a film that's very similar to this.
Yeah.
Because those tapes are that we actually uncovered some tapes. I did.
Mhm.
But I regret it because I uncovered the tapes from my childhood and now
Mhm.
my sisters use it as like a meme. Like they meme it like, there was this clip of me saying there's no room. And now anytime I say there's no room, they always like said said the thing. Oh. And I'm
That's
like,
kind of funny.
imagine getting memed by something by like a childhood home video. Like it was like
Yeah.
it's actually really annoying and I've had to tell them to stop. So tell me, so finding those videos is very for me it was very sort of shocking and you know just like what was it like finding these like have you seen these videos or was it like the first time you've seen these videos when you uncovered them?
Yeah, it was the first time seeing these videos actually. Like I remember recording stuff as a kid, but I never had the concept of like it being kept. And I just like I never knew the finished product. I was just like, okay, like I'm done playing with my toys. But yeah, so it was my first time seeing it, and when I saw them, I was like, oh my god. Um,
Cringe.
I was like, I was cringing a lot. Um,
Yeah.
but no, mostly I was smiling. It was really like heartwarming, and I was really glad to find them. So
Mhm. So it's very interesting. This year, last year we didn't most of our films were very either like narrative or like each of them had a very clear
yeah,
story. This year we got so many amazing experimental films, so many so that now we have a best experimental film category, that we didn't even need.
really. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're nominated, bro.
Well, yes, I know, but like I, I just mean like I it was just like a new category this year.
No, like yeah, like I was like realizing how many of the experiment because we were doing the program, we were making the program, and if you've seen the films, we had Kino come in very early on, and we were like, okay, this has to be in the festival. Then I think there was Evermore, yeah, like who else is experimental? Dust to Dust, also experimental. Uh, and then your film came in and Hikikomori, which I am so excited about. All these films came in and we were like, we got to do this one and we got to do this one. Or at least
Yeah,
I was seeing all these experimental films, so I was like, we can't not, you know, like we have to acknowledge the craft of making an experimental film because it's not easy. It's you have to
right.
tell a story without telling a story with story element, plot lines and
Yeah,
what
right.
how did you I guess this is partly directing, partly editing. Like when did you know about the specific elements? When did you know about what was the process behind, getting yourself in front of a screen? And how did you make that like I don't even know what to, like those
Mhm.
like beads on the screen and then like, like little squiggles or whatever. Like
Yeah, yeah.
how did you do all that and how did it come?
Um, right. Well, I well, actually, I was really inspired by this movie called I Believe in Unicorns, and it has like a lot of like mixed media elements to it. a lot of like stop motion to like really have that like sort of like child childhood like childish like element. So I was like, I really want to do something sort of multimedia. And yeah, I kind of just like went to a craft store and like got some like beads and I got this like weird like sheet paper that was like sort of translucent, and I just like put it on top of like green paper and took photos of them, and then I just I just apply them on top of the footage. So
And
yeah,
how did
nothing too complicated.
and how did you do the standing how did you do the standing in front of the screen, and like what was your problem, or like what was your reasoning behind it?
Right. I so the projection it's at the so Rhode Island School of Design has like a projection room that we were able to use. So that's what I did. And the text that I also did, it was just like black paper and then white gouache, and I wrote it, took a photo of it, and then that's what is also on the projector. Um, and yeah, I think my initial, I think, oh, actually, I was very like, I really liked Bo Burnham's Inside, which uses a lot of projection. And I also just, I don't know. I think maybe it was just, I think it
Wait
was
a
just cool for
second.
me.
You were young when that came out. That's like three and a half years ago now. Or
Yeah,
four?
didn't it come in like
4 years ago.
Inside? Yeah.
2025. It came out in like April or May of 2021. It's been 4 years, and you're 18 now? Okay, you're frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were 14 when it came out. Okay. That's I guess I give you permission because it's a
Yeah.
very
I think
it's
it
a
like
very it's a very well, it's a very explicit film, and it's a very, you know, um
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
have you rewatched it, or like what was it like watching Inside at 14 years old?
Um I think I definitely do want to rewatch it now that I'm older and maybe get a little more of just like have a new perspective on it. I also just really like Bo Burnham stuff. And um yeah, I guess at 14 I saw that it was coming out, and I just watched it, and I honestly, because of this whole his whole concept about like the internet, and I've had like unsupervised internet access at a really young age, I kind of like got some of the references already, or like related to kind of exposure to social media, um, and just like weird weird things online and things. Um, yeah.
I think about Inside so much. I think about it all the time, about all the things about the internet and everything. Like, it's also a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Um, so tell us what what have you made since? What's new? What's coming out? What's next for Johan Domingo?
um so for the past couple of months I had to work on this like senior capstone project, which is just like it's very self-directed, any project. And so I just thought it was obvious for me to make a film. And I really wanted to make like an actual short film with like dialogue, and yeah, that's what I did. And I actually just screened it for the first time to public audience yesterday. Yeah, it will be out online soon, but yeah, it's called alaga, and it's basically just alaga is this term that Filipino nannies use to refer to the kid that they're taking care of. So like, oh yeah, she's my alaga. Like as if I'm a babysitter, I'd be like, she's my alaga, or like, and yeah, it was just like based off my years in middle school, and having a babysitter that was more than just a babysitter. Like I consider her family at this point, and especially in middle school, like at a young age, my parents were sort of roughly going through a divorce, um, and she like caught me like watching them argue like by the doorway or like eavesdropping on them, and she like quickly like shuffles me out, and she didn't say anything about it. She never judged, and she would just ask me if I was hungry, and she'd make really good food for me. And that's kind of the way that she communicated with me and showed her affection, um, which I think a lot of like which I feel like a lot of like Asian families do, where we're very passive about we're not very open about our emotions or like talking about our emotions. But one way that we show our affection, or love for people, is through food. And so that's kind of like what I experienced. And yeah, so it, it's about a middle schooler and her nanny, and they come home, parents are arguing, um, and the nanny is just like, "Are you hungry?" And they go on this kind of adventure to Queens Woodside, which is known as Little Manila, and they went to like Jollibee. They went to the Phil Am Market, which is like where all the one of the like very many Filipino markets at Woodside, and just like got a bunch of snacks, and then she they both end up basically going home, but it's not really shown that they're like actually back to the house. So yeah, it was just like it's a super super simple concept, um, but I it's I it's a super simple concept, but I feel like people would get it, especially with just like showing, not telling, through the film. And I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people like experience the. I I shared the screenplay to a lot of like Filipinos, and they were like, "Damn, like this hit home. Like, this is so um, relatable, and so something that I think a lot of people will get, and even if they're not Filipino, like they will also um, empathize with it and relate to it in some shape or form." Um, so yeah, I just came out with that. It's called Alaga. Yeah.
All right. So where can people find you on the socials?
Um, so my Instagram would be Johan M. Wait. I don't know my own handle. I'm gonna be so honest. I've been so bad at like using my actual like business Instagram handle. Um, but yeah, my Instagram is Johan M, the letter M, like as in Mary, and then Domingo, Johan M Domingo on Instagram. And that's kind of the only handles I have right now. I mean, I have my YouTube, which is just just my name. And yeah.
Very nice. Okay. Thank you so much, Johan. What day is your film? The 10th or the 13th?
10.
So everyone stay tuned. Johan film is playing on July 10th at 7:45 at the Village East Theater,
Yes.
Village East Cinema. And let's have a great time at the festival. And let's hope to see you all there. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Yes.